we had the most incredible Northern Lights show last night. Whole sky was filled. We were even lucky enough to the point we had the pinky red hue underneath the green, which shows obviously how bright and strong the display was. We'll drop some photos in just over this now so you can see what it looked like. We've been feeling really lucky really, because a lot of people that have been here recently have had cloud or they've had rain, and when we've been checking the weather reports, we've been shown that we've been having complete cloud as well. But in actuality, it's been cloudy in the morning, overcast with maybe some snow, and then it's completely cleared up during the day. So we're feeling actually lucky, considering everyone else's experiences. But yeah, let's get on with the day. We spent the night last night at a beach called Skeg Sanden, I believe it's called, on the sort of north side of the lower end of Lofoten. And we've had some serious wind in the night. The van started rocking around all over the place, and then at probably 6 AM got woken up to a plough coming through the car park, which, when you're not entirely sure what the hell's waking you up at 6 o'clock in the morning, scraping right next to the van, it's a bit of a shocker. I'll put the footage in after this of that doing it. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you an idea. If I step out from behind the van, it's pretty windy out here, and most of the snow has actually blown off the car park while we've been here, and they're essentially just parked on top of sheet ice. But yeah, we're going to head down to the next town over, try and get some food, try and get some water, because we're out of water. So I don't know if you can make this out, but you can see here all the snow blowing past the van in the wind. It's been rocking the van. That was a big one. It's been rocking the van all night. So we've just arrived in Henningsvær. Jess is sat in the van, and this is where you get the football pitch here. So I'll insert a bit of B-roll afterwards, but essentially this is where everyone gets that shot up on the Lofoten Islands, where you've got the football pitch with the island and the town in the background. I mean, you can see we've got all the fish racks all behind us. The sun's just starting to peek up over there. It's snowing, and it is a fantastic place to be. Following the E10 towards rain. It's been quite interesting weather conditions, as far as it's had quite heavy snowfall while we've been driving. The ploughs and the gritters are out, but you're sort of at the mercy of moving at their speeds. Give someone a visual representation of studs, right? So you can see these lines here are where it starts to slide under braking. So if I come forward, you can see where they're all biting into it, and you can hear it as well. And then you can see what they actually do to help you stop. Now bear in mind, we weigh probably about 3.1 tonne at the minute, because we're full on fuel. And it stops. We started braking up here, and by here it stopped. Obviously we're not going quick, we're just in the car park. But there is a representation of exactly what studs do to keep you on the straight and narrow. behind us here is Rain. It's the first sort of full town you come back to after being at A, or R, however it's said. There isn't much here. There's a bistro, a supermarket, a fuel station, but the view here, I mean, the sun is just setting in front of the van and it is beautiful. We've just arrived at the Viking Museum in Borg on the Lofoten Islands. This is something Jess wanted to go and look at, and to be fair, it sort of interests me as well. When we looked at the website, we saw that they've got the longest, was it longhouse? Yeah. To be found in Viking history, and they've completely reconstructed it, and you can go in and they've got all the different clothing there. You can see setups of how bedrooms would have been, the dining halls would have been, all that kind of stuff, and there's all of it's handmade, but it's all replica. So you can, they sort of urge you to try on and basically be a bit silly while you're there, which, to be fair, for a museum is a rare thing. Usually, obviously, it's stay behind barriers, you're not allowed to touch anything, so it's quite interesting. But yes, we're going to go in, going to go have a look around. I believe they've got a cafe and a gift shop and stuff in there as well, which I imagine Jess will be interested in the gift shop, so we'll have a look at that while we're there. But yeah, let's go and we'll show you around. Jess, I think I found a tool more your size. So we just got back from the Viking Museum. We thought it was really good. We would definitely recommend people to stop by and have a look. The longhouse is bigger than you could imagine in photos or anything like that. It is fantastic. We're now going to go and try and find a park up. We've been struggling to find water, as I think I've said previously, so we need to look at the task of getting the water cap off the tank, because we bought 3 5-litre bottles, so we're going to siphon in the water. So let's go find a park up, see if we can get that off, and let's get on with the evening. So we went out to dinner with Jess and John the other night, and we were discussing the fact that these water filler caps that you get on eBay, Amazon, that kind of thing, freeze. And it's just done it again. But the trick we'd come up with after a discussion at dinner was Vaseline. Now Vaseline's got a freezing point of something like -42. I think that's what it is. And it's the nearest enough thing to food safe. So you can put it on the inside of it, and if the water splashes back, which is what's freezing inside the mechanism on the cap, it's not too much of a problem. But what I've had to do tonight is get out the old heat gun and extension lead to run off the inverter, as we've struggled to find water. Now I checked this cap earlier and it would come off. I've just checked it again now. It's frozen solid. But the difference is, instead of it taking ages to come off, sorry, that was the water bottle that's just fallen down there. The difference is it takes a few seconds to heat it up with the heat gun and it comes straight off. Good morning. So we've just woken up in Narvik. Obviously we'd probably owe you a bit of an explanation, because last time we were videoing we were in the Viking Museum. So we're now in Narvik, which is obviously back on the mainland. We've stayed at an Air, which is in sort of the outskirts of the city-ish. Basically, we needed water. We still haven't found any. and after multiple attempts yesterday, this is the one place that had non-frozen water. I think it's €20 for the night. There's rubbish disposal over there. It has got electric, but there is no waste dump. So if anyone's wanting to use this park up, that's just one thing to bear in mind. So the reason we've jumped off the Lofoten Islands so quickly, wind. So we'd seen wind starting to build, obviously monitoring weather reports, everything else, not a problem. Yesterday we were due to come back and we started making the rather nice drive off the Lofoten Islands. And we came out of the tunnel and we felt the back end sort of slip slightly. Now, not too much of a problem, it was complete side wind. We were kind of expecting it because we were on loose snow. We weren't actually on ice pack, which obviously studs bear no benefit there. So we thought best that we'd come back towards the mainland. Now the plan is we're going to head to Kiruna today. We've waited, we were going to do it last night, but we didn't want to miss the road in the dark because it's quite a stunning road to drive down. So we're going to do that today. We're trying to sort of do a bit of a delayed start to avoid winds because they are still pretty bad. Once we cross the border into Finland, it's not so bad, but we've got a pass to get over to the border, which is going to be full-on headwind uphill, and Norm doesn't like hills at the best of time, so that's going to be interesting. But yeah, once we move into Sweden, we should obviously be out of the wind, should be much better. But we'll take you along, we'll pop in some driving footage because that road is fantastic to drive down. It is a really stunning road. Let's crack on for the day. We've just got going on the E10 from Narvik to Kiruna. As you do that road, you get to a mountain pass where you pass over the Norwegian-Swedish border. We were met at the snow gates with a lot of stopped cars, a lot of flashing lights and emergency services. And it looks like we are going over the mountain with a convoy. Because we've had high winds, like I mentioned previously, people aren't actually able to go over the mountains on their own. And I think it's a pretty standard practice in Norway, to be honest, that if there's any sort of adverse weather, you have to wait for a plough to come through to clear. And at the minute, one side of the road is kind of filling up before we've even passed it. So what it looks like is that they're running it in alternating directions to make sure that everyone gets across safely. But we're going across a 30 odd kilometre pass doing anywhere between sort of 10 and 15 miles an hour, which I'm quite thankful of, because some of the winds and the snow as we've been coming over, you can just see it all blown off the mountains and the whole sky is hazy because there's just snow flying across the landscape. That's it for this week's video. We've made it to Kiruna. Next week we'll be going across into Finland. If you haven't already, make sure you check out our Instagram. We post twice daily on there and update it with stories all the time. Yeah, thank you for watching and see you next week.